Just want to make sure everybody can hear me on that side of the webinar. I see that there's still a lot of people joining us. If you guys can please just on the right hand side of the screen hit me up with like a hi or where you're from as well. I see there's a lot of people joining us all the way from like the Middle East to the US. I see some people from India coming in at the moment, Europe as well. So yeah, just welcome everybody to today's webinar. My name is Jean-Pierre Russ. I am the founder of Russ Digital Marketing. We're an agency which has 2 global offices, one in South Africa and one in the Middle East in Dubai. And this small little business, or this rather large little business, has sort of started from a small bedroom hobby from a laptop, and it later today hires over 18 people globally. And we've worked with over 700 businesses as well around the world, where from the smallest businesses all the way to the Fortune 500 companies as well, where we've helped them to grow their own brands and obviously generate more leads and sales. Now today's webinar is all about you, and I want to give you guys a bit of insight on how you can start your very own digital marketing agency. Before we actually move on, I actually want to just bring up something over here on the desk. We have created this manual. I can see if I can bring it up over here on the screen. I don't know if you guys can see it. It might be a bit blurry, but this manual covers everything that I'm going to be covering in this webinar, from all the steps, everything that you need to know about starting your own digital marketing agency, all the pitfalls that we went through, all the mistakes that we basically found ways around later on, and how we actually scaled this agency. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, but you're going to have to stay for the end of this webinar for me to be able to provide you with this link and the opportunity for that ebook. It took us about 3 months to build that ebook. We're constantly improving it and scaling it upwards, and obviously putting more techniques into this ebook, because the digital marketing world is always changing. So I mean, we've always got to be updating this ebook. Now, I'm going to be jumping straight into a power slide here at the moment and give you guys some bit background about myself, how I started, how I basically went from zero to generating over 100,000 per month in revenue from basically just a laptop, and then later on obviously scaling it up to 1.2 million and so forth. And yeah, I'm also going to share with you guys some cool photos. Some photos my mom took at the beginning stages of this business when I was still working in like a small little office at home. No branding, no nothing. You know, my mom took these photos, and I obviously wasn't too impressed by it. But today they've come in quite handy when it came to this webinar. So I'm going to share some of these background photos with you guys as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this screen to the right-hand side over here, so you guys can obviously see me at the same time while I'm giving this presentation. At the same time, I want to mention that if you guys have any questions, please feel free. There's a comment section on the right-hand side. Just hit me up with like a question or so. I might not be able to get it right now because I'm obviously in the webinar. I do have an assistant over here with me, and yeah, she's good with the questions. So what's going to happen is she's going to pass the questions on to me afterwards. I'm going to try and get back to them. I'm also got a Q&A at the end, but we're going to get into that right now. So here we go. Let's go ahead. I'm going to just drag this into the screen at the right-hand side. Perfect. Let's move into our first slide over here. So what are we going to be covering in this webinar? So the first thing is how this business changed my life. I'm going to give you guys a bit of background about how it changed my life, how it took me from like a small little laptop business all the way to a larger company, 2 offices globally and so forth. The next thing I'm going to be talking about is how I went from 0 to 100,000 in revenue per month in this company, and the technique that I used, the marketing funnel, all the steps I took to actually be able to get this business off the ground as well. And next, it is going to be how to start your very own agency. So I'm also going to show you some of the basic steps on how to get your own agency off the ground, all the way from what you need to do to set it up, all the way to, or from setting it up, all the way right to sign up a first client, what the process is, what your funnel needs to look like, and so forth. And remember, the ebook also itself is going to be covering a lot of these things. Like I said before, this ebook has about 150 pages plus minus, with images and everything inside of it. So if I do miss anything in the webinar, this ebook covers it all. But you've got to stay until the end for this ebook. Lastly, this ebook. Now there's going to be a link to the ebook at the end of the day. I'm going to be obviously showing us what this ebook has inside of it and all of the benefits. Lastly, a quick Q&A. So what I'm going to do is I've got a couple of questions that people have asked me before. I've also got a couple of questions that have come from the actual webinar, and I'm going to try and get to these questions inside of this webinar. So let's go ahead. I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet, and yeah, let's move through this webinar. So the first thing is how this business changed my life. At the beginning of this whole process, I was basically drawing whiteboards, trying to figure out how to build, how to structure the whole industry or the business, what needs to be in place, from registering the business all the way to naming it, what was going to be the name. I went through a whole bunch of process. I worked for basically day and night. As you guys can see, I still had hair over there. I think this business has caused me to lose hair. And this all started back in 2010. So what I would do was I would read up about digital marketing. I would study it. I would draw out all of these different scenarios and how I could get people to sort of sign up and afterwards become clients, how I could help them out, how I could run their campaigns for them. And this process kept on rolling on and on and on. And it took a bit of time, but after about 3 months or so, we managed to get our first clients and so forth. Now, I'm going to fast forward about 10 years later on. 10 years later on, we've got our own office. We've got 2 offices globally. This is scaled up to, like I said before, 18 people that work for this agency. We've worked with over 700 businesses, and we're helping them to grow. And the cool thing about this is that it's actually helped me. Sorry, I skipped a slide over there. It's actually helped me to create a lifestyle that I absolutely love today. It's allowed me to travel globally, obviously not too much at the moment with the whole pandemic that's on at the moment, but it's allowed me to obviously live quite a luxury lifestyle in a way. But due to me enjoying what I do so much, I really love digital marketing, and I really enjoy coming to the office every day, working with my team, brainstorming new techniques for our clients, and obviously getting them to become successful, because at the end of the day, if our clients are successful, we become successful, and that's the main thing you need to remember inside of this webinar. So the next thing is going to be the journey. What was this journey like for me? I sat down for quite a while thinking about this, and I just thought I can actually think about all the bad things that have happened. There's been so many bad things that have happened, and it's mainly not things that obviously were caused from outside forces. It's mostly internal. It's things that we could have avoided if we knew what we were doing. And you can have basic business skills out there, and it's going to help you a bit, but at the end of the day, digital marketing is a whole new type of ball game. The way you sign up clients, the way you work with clients, the way you try and get their campaigns successful is completely, it's a new form of business, and if you get this right, you can be immensely successful. And I've actually keyed out 4 to 5 main things that I could remember that actually were game changers for us in this business. So let me go back to the beginning, and I'm going to quickly give you this little process. So at the beginning, 2010 or so, we started up this company. Well, I started up this company. I drew up a business model. I had my financials in place and everything like that. And 3 months down the line, we had our first clients. We had 2 to 3 clients come in, and we started working with these clients. We had a bit of growth. We did this for a couple of years or so. Signed up more clients, and things were looking good. Things were looking really rosy, and the business was actually expanding a bit. I was thinking about hiring the first 2 people, but a good thing I didn't, because it was basically about a month or so afterwards. Once we signed up, I think it was about our 25th client or so, we had a massive 80% drop. We lost pretty much all of those clients. I think we lost a total of like 15 to 17 of the clients overnight, just gone. And I'll cover that in my ebook as well on what we did wrong. And it was something so silly. There's something that we could have done at the beginning right, but it was something that we could not correct later on. We had to first almost lose the clients to be able to correct this. And like I said before, the ebook covers that. And this main thing caused us to restart the business again. And obviously myself, I was still alone in the company at that stage. So what I did was I spent the next couple of months to almost a year or so rebuilding the business up again. I restructured the foundation of the business, how the business needs to work, how we sign up clients, how we put them into their Facebook accounts, how we actually work in their Facebook accounts as well for them. And this basically helped. That we had no more problems afterwards. We didn't lose any clients. Everything was good to go. Now, the problem was that the growth was quite slow. We were constantly working on new strategies, how to sign up new clients, how to actually build the brand as well at the same time, how to acquire clients in a way where we can onboard them in a process that actually benefits them, as well as how can we scale campaigns. Because if we can scale a client's campaign, that means they're spending more money with us, they're more successful. But this took a bit of time at the beginning, and we created so many different strategies on whiteboards. I've got endless videos of us just recording ourselves, or myself just writing out these different strategies on whiteboards that you guys can see behind me over here. And this was obviously such a long process. But at the end of the day, what happened was, out of the 200 different strategies we built, we found one that actually worked. And this strategy worked so well that it was just generating at least 20 to 30 leads a day that were just coming in. We were working with, we were signing up about 2 clients a day almost, and so forth. In a week, we're doing about 10 clients, anywhere from between 5 to 10 new clients in a week, spending anywhere from 3 to 10 to 20,000 Rand with us per month. And this obviously just rocket shipped this business up immediately. The business scaled. We started doing branding. I went out and started hiring graphic designers, website analytics teams, as well as web designers and things and so forth. And this company, tongue-tied. The company just scaled upwards, which was brilliant. It was a hard thing to actually do. You can actually run this company just from a laptop and live a very comfortable lifestyle with at least like between 50 to 100,000 Rand per month income and be happy. But if you really want to scale this up to like $1 million to $2 million per month in revenue business, you're going to need a bit of help. But like I said before, this really helped us. When we developed this strategy, the strategy just took off. And it wasn't a very complicated strategy. It was a combination of Facebook ads, Google ads, as well as a bit of email marketing. And yeah, like I said, it just took off. But it took us a long time to get there. And in the ebook that obviously I've created with my team, we actually talk about the strategy, the basics of it, and how you can actually do the same. So let's go and move on to why my agency was failing. Okay, so it's important to look back to find out what we were doing wrong. Now, we weren't just doing one thing wrong. There was multiple things that we were doing wrong. One of the first things that we did wrong was we had no idea, or I had no idea how to grow this type of business. I come from a business background from where I could create business plans, carpentry. I started my own business. It did really well, but I had no digital marketing experience, so there was no skills. Next thing was my prospects didn't know who I was. When I was advertising to them, they didn't understand who I was or who I were. They didn't know, my background. They didn't know how we could actually help them and things like that. So there was a mismatch over here. Next, there was no trust yet. This falls back onto my prospects not knowing who I was. They didn't trust me yet, and this took a bit of time. And I could only figure this out over a couple of months, where we could figure out the clients that did buy from us, how long they took to basically make their first purchase with us was due to them not trusting us at the beginning. Next, we did not know their pain points, meaning my client has a pain point, or when you start your agency, you're going to find that your client has a pain point. It isn't always just in brand awareness or getting more people to become leads, but it could be because they're not getting enough sales, or it could be that they're not getting enough comments or traction online or something like that. So there could be a different pain point for each client. Not every client's the same. We've worked with clients that need sales, where we also work with clients who only require leads. And we didn't understand this pain point in the beginning. So that was one of the problems. Our timing was off. Okay, so one of the next thing was our timing was off. Our client wanted digital marketing, but they weren't ready for it today. And that's only something we also figured out a little bit later down the line, was when this journey started running, people started going through our emails, we figured out that it took on average between 2 to 3 months for your first batch of clients to start trusting you, knowing who you are, you understand their pain points, and the timing for them is right today. And that's one thing that kept on taking us back to the drawing boards and trying to figure out new processes on obviously how to do this. So that was our timing, and then lastly was digital marketing funnel. We didn't have a marketing funnel that actually worked, a funnel that went out, and I'm going to be talking about digital marketing funnels quite a lot, so I'm just going to break it down for you guys a bit in this webinar. But the problem was we had so many funnels out there that weren't working, and we had to test a couple of funnels to figure out what the process was, how long it took somebody to purchase, how many emails it took, what type of communication they needed inside of these emails, what links they wanted to click on, what they wanted first, maybe a proposal, maybe a quote, maybe a video, maybe some testimonials. So this all fell into our funnel, and our process was a bit broken. So that was one of the main problems over there to why the agency failed. Now, there was also one bigger problem, and that's also covered in the ebook itself, to why we lost 80% of the clients. Perfect. So let's have a look at building habit and mindshare. Now, getting back to when you're starting your own digital marketing agency, you might find that you'll get up and going, and you know what, you might find that a lot of people are interested in what you're doing, but they just disappear overnight. One day somebody will tell you, I'm very interested in your digital marketing services. Can you please give us a quotation or maybe a proposal on what you could do for us? And what happens afterwards? They just disappear. You don't hear from them again or something like that, and they're just gone. So what we did find was later on was there's a lot of competitors out there. You're not going to be the only one starting a digital marketing agency. At the end of the day, there are multiple competitors, and you need to understand who your competitors are. Now, I obviously just went out and found this image, and I didn't obviously want to put in all of our competitors in there. There's quite a lot of them, but I just want to show you something when it comes to mind share and what you need to do. When you're running emails to your clients, or let's just say you've got your first prospect and they come to you, you have got to basically build a bit of mind share with them. When they need your service, what needs to happen is that the day that they need your service, they need to remember an email they got from a company. They're going to remember your colors, your logo, and they're going to remember there's a company I spoke to maybe a month or two ago, and they could help us with digital marketing. And the only way that you could do that was if you had a marketing funnel and your content was always in front of your leads, and you were constantly nurturing your leads. By doing this, you will eventually get a client to purchase from you. But by us doing this over a period of time, we would send out emails, we would run Facebook posts, we would always be engaging with our leads. We would not be selling all the time. What we would be doing is we'd be delivering value. We would be putting our clients first. We want to deliver value first. We would like to help them out with a bit of information first, get them going, and later on, they would see us as an expert in the field of digital marketing and buy from us. So those are one of the main things that we did in the beginning, which we actually did wrong, but later on we obviously corrected a bit where we actually figured out how to build mind share and things like that. And it's all got to do with your branding as well. Okay, now this is a bit of a strange concept. It's actually something I've used in previous webinars where I've helped obviously businesses out there when it comes to growing their own not their own agencies, but their own businesses and things like that. And that is known as day first before proposing. So what we did also in the beginning, which was a bit of a problem, I know I was talking about a lot of the problems at the beginning over here, but I want to make sure that you guys know that if your agency is going to be successful, you need to know what pitfalls to avoid. And by knowing what pitfalls to avoid and mistakes, you're going to get to the end goal of starting up this agency a lot quicker and your agency will be more successful. So one of the other mistakes we did at the beginning was you had me at hello. Now, if I'm making contact with a new lead, or any of my team members are making contact with a new lead, the first thing we want to do is obviously we do not want to make a proposal right now, give them a proposal saying, we can help you with digital marketing, this is going to be the price, you better sign up with us today or we move on. What this leads to is, sorry, we're not going to be doing business with you. And if you had a look at dating and proposing for marriage and things like that, it's the same thing. You're not going to go on your first date and propose to somebody. No, you are going to go on to your first date. You are there afterwards going to go on a multiple series of other dates. And what's going to happen is that over a period of time, you will pick the right time and you will make your proposal, and you would have had me at the word hello. And your clients are the same thing. So when you start up a digital marketing agency, make sure that you are not scared of or frightened away by people coming in and not buying or using your services from day one. It's going to be a process that you've got to go through. You've got to wow your clients or your future clients. You've got to help them at first. Make them understand that, you are the right agency for them. You are the agency that have their best interest at heart, and you want to help them succeed. And over a period of time, they're going to learn to trust you. And once you make your proposal and give your quotation, they're going to accept it. And you guys have just entered a beautiful journey from where you can help your clients. So make sure that you take your prospects or your leads onto a journey of helping them out first. I guarantee you, your agency will be so much more successful by doing this. And by following this process, obviously it's helped us. This is the process we follow every day at Rust Digital Marketing. All of our sales agents do the same thing. And we don't sell a product from day one. We are there to help out. And it'll position us as the expert later on. Excellent. So the next thing we're going to look at over here, so make sure my mic is still in place. Hopefully everybody can still hear me. Everybody's still awake on that side. If you feel like you want to hit me up with any more comments, go for it. I see a lot of comments coming in here actually at the same time. We're about halfway through. So guys, you're doing very well on that side, and I hope you're still awake. Okay, so this is the marketing funnel that I created, the one that actually worked. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail in it, but I'm just going to give you an idea of the numbers. You need to understand, when it comes to digital marketing, your agency, you need to understand the numbers. You need to understand how many people I reach out there, what it costs me, all the way from how many leads I get, how many of these I convert into actual paying clients, and so forth. And how many of them also come back to you. So it's a very important thing. Now, this funnel I built was the one that actually got the business off the ground. Now, the first thing I did was I created a Facebook ad. I pushed about 5,000 Rand into this ad, And this ad got me something which is called impression. So if you're new to digital marketing, an impression is where I would sort of show you an ad on Facebook or Instagram and you scroll past it or so forth. You either click on it, you don't click on it. Now what happened was when I built this campaign, 200,000 people managed to get an impression. Now obviously impressions are quite cheap, anywhere from like 0.1 cent all the way to like 10 cents or so. So I mean impressions are very cheap. Now from those 200,000 impressions, 4,000 people clicked on this offer that I had. Now, I had an offer where I would give away a free digital marketing strategy to somebody. My opportunity was I wanted to help you out first. I wanted to show you how digital marketing can obviously help your business. Now, this gave me about 4,000 clicks. People clicked on this ad, they looked at the ad, but not all of them signed up. What happened was about 100 of the 4,000 would come onto this ad and they would actually sign up. They'd give me their email address, they would give me their budgets, they would give me an idea of their websites, and so forth. Now after this was a bit of a process where I'd work with them, I would sort of call them up, I would design a proposal for them on how we could help them, obviously not mentioning any prices yet and things like that. It was just basically helping them out. Now there's obviously a big gap of this which is missing, which I'll cover in the book. I can't show it to you right now, the webinar would be too long, but what would happen was I had about 10 sales come out of this in 1 month. The average product that which I was selling was anywhere between 3,000 Rand all the way up to like 10,000 Rand. The average person bought about a 4,000 Rand package. So what happened was I had about 10 sales of this. The revenue for that month was 30,000 Rand. And remember, digital marketing, you get recurring income. Your clients pay you recurring. That means that you are going to be getting a steady income. As long as you deliver on your results, you will get a steady income constantly from here onwards. Now, if you obviously don't deliver on your results, your clients will stop paying you. So you've got to deliver. So what happened was 10 clients would come in. They would each pay us, say, anywhere on average 4,000 Rand. And this gave me 30,000 Rand. Now, this obviously kept on going. Process kept on rolling, and so forth. Now, at the end of the day, the conclusion was that this one package that I created, which was about 3,000 Rand or so, I still have clients today that are still with us from day one, that we've been doing their marketing for them. And it's amazing sometimes that we've built such a good relationship with each other. And what has happened is that they have obviously spent a lot more money with us. Some of them have started all the way from 3,000 Rand to they spend up to 100,000 Rand per month with us on our digital marketing services. Because we have delivered on results, we have given them a return on their investment. And the next question that our clients usually ask us afterwards is, how can we spend more money? Which is always a good thing for you. But remember, you've got to deliver on these results. So that's the main thing. So this funnel that I built was all about reaching prospects, then clicking, then becoming a lead, me converting them into a sale, and then obviously generating a revenue for the business, scaling the business upwards. Once I got more people into the business, I could obviously push more money into the marketing. And that's the cool thing about this, is that at the beginning I only put about 5,000 Rand in. But today we spend over 30 to 40,000 Rand per month on just, say, one Facebook ad. And we've got Google ads and a whole bunch of other things. And obviously we don't just reach 200,000 people. We reach anywhere between 1.5 to 2 million people per month with our services all around the world. So it just shows how you can start small and scale up. The question is, obviously, how much work are you willing to put into it, and how far do you want to usually go? I've seen digital marketing agencies reach up to like 50 to 100,000 Rand per month, and they're happy with it. That's fine. You know, if you are happy with creating 100,000 Rand per month income for yourself, great. But if you want to scale a really large company, then obviously all you got to do is up your game a bit. So yeah, I'm just going to move on to the next slide over here next. Next thing I want to look at is the timeline. Now these are questions I get asked quite often. I do a lot of digital marketing coaching sometimes when it comes to helping people start up their own agencies and things like that. And I always get asked, how long is it actually going to take? And I wish there was one answer that I could tell you, you know what, it's going to take this long to actually get the agency started, get your first clients. But one thing that we found was once we had our strategy fixed and sorted out, we were happy with it, the way it was working, the actual momentum went quite well. And what I mean by that was once we had this process where leads were, or people were learning about us, they were becoming leads and they were converting to clients and things like that, the momentum actually just took off. So what I'm going to show you right now is the timeline. Now remember, this is only once we have figured out the strategy. So don't get me wrong and say, you know, tomorrow morning you're going to start doing a digital marketing agency and the same number is going to work for you. No. But from a zero timeline all the way to 1.2 million, it took us basically like a year. The first thing we did the first 3 months was we focused on signing up our first couple of clients. Remember, we already had about 25 clients. We lost 80% of our clients. We restarted the whole process, the whole headache and things like that. We managed to get the business set up a bit better. And that's when this whole thing started working for us. And what happened was within our first 3 months or so, we signed up our first 90 clients. The average client was spending anywhere between, say, 3,000 Rand all the way to like 5,000 Rand. Some of them would spend a bit more. This generated about 90,000 Rand per month in revenue after the first 3 months. Within the first or the second 3 to 6 months, we started doubling up on this. So remember, what happens is that your clients are paying a recurring fee. And this recurring fee obviously is what you use to pay some of the marketing with as well, and then obviously pay your own services and so forth. So what happened was within the first, or say 3 to 6 months, we started generating between 60 clients. And this gave us a 360,000 per month revenue. Keep in mind, this was still quite a small business back in the day. We only had about 2 to 3 employees back then. So this was a good amount of revenue for such a small company. Remember, our overheads are quite low. Only thing we have is our fee towards Facebook or the social media channels, our computers, our offices, and basically some basics and things like that. So we did make quite a good amount of profit. But when we saw a really big jump was when we started entering our 6 to 12 months. We signed about 100, just under, anywhere between, I think it was 98 somewhere to 105 clients or so. I just rounded it off to a straight 100 over here. But that gave us about 1.2 million Rand per month in revenue. Remember now, by this stage, we started employing an extra 2 people, the company started growing, and yeah, the numbers started going up and it started looking really healthy. This allowed us obviously to start expanding. And once we started expanding, the main thing that we found that actually really benefited our company, that made us really successful, was not always signing up more clients. So don't make the mistake of going out there and thinking, you've just constantly got to be feeding this lead machine where you are constantly getting new clients, churning clients into the system, converting them. No. What you need to remember, rule number 1 is that you can actually have anywhere between 10 to 20 clients and be extremely successful, be very profitable, but your clients are really big clients. There are some agencies out there that only work with 5 to 10 clients, and there are multi-million-dollar companies out there because their clients are pretty much Coca-Cola or Apple or Pepsi and these type of big brands. So you don't have to have a high volume. What's going to happen in the day is you're going to sign up a whole bunch of clients at the beginning. You're going to find your feeds. You're going to figure out what works. You're going to start duplicating this process. You're going to find out what your niche is as well. What do you specialize in? And you're going to start focusing all your attention on getting these clients successful, making sure that a client that spends 3,000 Rand with you is going to, in the next 6 months, at least 3 times that budget or 3x that budget with you. Because what's going to happen is that you're going to deliver on these results. And once you start doing this, your client relationship between yourself and your agency becomes a lot better. Your revenue skyrockets. And the process of just delivering better results to your client works for them. So, at the end of the day, your client's always going to ask you, can't we spend more money? And that's when you know you're doing something right. So remember that. The number 1 rule is to take your agency, even if you start with a small client at the beginning, anywhere between 3,000 Rand to 5,000 Rand, get them successful. The number 1 rule is to make sure that your client's successful, because if your client is successful, your agency is going to become successful. So don't think about this model where you've just got to be signing up clients every day. Whatever happens in the background, doesn't matter. You just need more clients. No, get your clients successful. So I'm going to move on to the next slide, and this is the one that everybody's been waiting for, and this is the slide on how you can start your own agency. So what I've done is, in 11 steps, I have laid out the basic process. These are the steps that I took in the beginning when starting up my own agency. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of things that is missing out of this, but the ebook covers all of these steps. We've got chapters on each one of these steps, from registering your business, how to build the funnel, how to build your first Facebook ad as well. That's all in that ebook, the manual that I spoke about earlier, and I'm basically 1 slide away from that still. But before we move into that, I'm going to just show you the basic process of what you need to follow. So, when you start off, you're in which is known as the bootstrapping stage. This is when you're funding your own business. You are doing all the work yourself. One of the first things you need is a business model. You need to sketch out a business model, a 9-block model of what is your revenue channel, your cost structure, your value proposition, your key partners. I can go on. There's quite a bit that needs to go into this. This is your business model. Once you've got your business model in place, you need to figure out what is your pricing model. What am I going to charge? When it comes to digital marketing, clients, especially the smaller clients, do prefer to buy packages. It's a lot easier for them. You want to obviously don't want a lot of friction between you and your client when it comes to signing them up, so you don't want to make things complicated, especially when it's a smaller client. You want to build packages. Packages work extremely well, anywhere from 3,000 Rand to 20,000 Rand packages work well. I mean, we sell them on a day-to-day basis and they work like a bomb. After that, your financial forecast. You want to forecast based on your model. Right? If your model is all about signing up X amount of clients in your first year, you know what, how much profit are we going to be making out of this? How can we scale this upwards? How can we always spend more money in our own marketing? Remember, a lot of your own funding is going to go into spending into your own marketing. Today, you obviously cannot start a business online just by word of mouth. It just doesn't work. Trust me, and you would still be in a year or two's time exactly where you are today if you are relying on word of mouth. So step 3, financial forecasting. Step 4, picking your niche. Now, this is a very important thing. Now, when we started off, we picked real estate. I had no background in real estate. We just decided real estate looked like a good market. And if you look at the ebook or the manual we created, we go through what your niche is and how to discover your niche as well at the same time. But picking your niche is important. You need to understand that you can't be a digital marketer for every type of client out there. It just wouldn't work. There's just too many different variables involved and things like that. So you need to pick a niche in a market that you're going to focus on. And I'm going to explain also later on why that is so important. Next, registering your business or your agency, making sure that your company is registered. It's going to make you look more legit. And there's obviously a lot of benefits that come from this as well when it comes to especially like Facebook marketing, where you are. I hope you guys can still hear me on that side. You should check if I get this mic close enough. Okay, perfect. I did see a comment come through a little while back that said that they had struggled hearing me. So hopefully I'm close enough to the mic. Okay, so back to these steps. 5, registering your agency. Next, getting a professional business bank account. You want to split your personal income from your business. And it's so important to do that, obviously, because what's going to happen is that you don't want your funding from your agency to get confused with your business. You want to be able to pay yourself a salary out of this and things like that. So make sure that you look into creating a business bank account. Next, accounting and taxes. Now, obviously, none of us like taxes, but it's just one of those laws that we have to apply by. And getting an accountant, especially in the beginning, when you're setting up your own digital marketing agency, I mean, your accountant is only going to obviously charge you to submit your books once a year or 4 times a year and things like that. They go through the basic process of accounting and things like that. But when it comes to the manual, we're going to teach you how to use a specific software out there that can actually help you a bit with that, but you're still going to need an accountant. Submitting your books to SARS or whichever tax service, whichever place in the world you're watching from, tax revenue and things like that, you are going to have to obviously have an accountant to help you out with that. It's going to be a headache. You do not want to be doing that on your own. Number 8, your branding. Making sure that your brand, your look, and everything is a nice streamlined, clean feeling from beginning to end. You know, your logo, your colors, your fonts that you use, the certain banners that you'll use on Facebook or social media and things like that all look similar. So your branding is important, making sure that your company stands for something. There's a reason why Coca-Cola is always red and white. They want you to think, you know, when you get thirsty out there, you need to think, you know, I need to have the first color popping back in my mind saying red and white. Next thing, I connect a name to that, and it's Coca-Cola because I'm thirsty, obviously. So that's why important branding is when it comes to your agency. Next, number 9, software setup. So you need to set up all the right software. You need a CRM system. You need to have MailChimp for your mailing, your emails going out. You need a business Facebook account. You need your personal account. You need a business manager. You need a Facebook page. There's a lot of other software you also need. Like I said, also the manual does cover that, but you need to set up all of your software in place. Software is there not to obviously cost you a fortune and just be a really nice thing to have in the background. The software is going to help you to automate a lot of processes. And when I started my own agency, I had to rely on a lot of software because there was only one person, and this person was basically me. So what happened was this software actually helped me out to send emails. It helped me out how to nurture my leads. There was a lot of things that software, obviously, some of the software did cost me a bit of money, but at the end of the day, I was either going to pay somebody a salary or get software to replace that. So at the end of the day, software does save you a lot of money. So look into that. We've obviously got a list of specific software that you do need. Next, number 10, onboarding process. So I've just signed my business up and running. I've just signed up my first client. Your onboarding process is how do you take a client that has just paid you all the way through to signing them up, to accessing their Facebook business page, to creating the right content for their ads and running their ads. And that is your onboarding process. And having this process really nice and streamlined is not just important for you, but it's important for your client. It gives them a really nice flow through your business, makes them appreciate the experience that they're going to have with your brand. And also it's going to help you look very professional. If your experience that you've got with your clients or giving your clients, not just obviously by the way that you communicate with them, but through the way that they work through your systems, is a nice, smooth process, they are going to think that you are very professional, which you should be. So yeah, your onboarding process is important. You need to have that as a step as well. Lastly, once you've got all of this in place, you need to start looking at landing your first clients, building a landing page. Secondly, what marketing content you'll be pushing out, what is going to be your lead magnet, meaning your offer that you're going to get out there and sort of present to people to sort of get them to sort of communicate with you. Remember, it all starts with communication. You need to relate to your leads' pain points. You need to be able to look at this pain point and say, how can we fix this pain point for you guys? And this is where you need to build your funnel in for your digital marketing. And your funnel will obviously help you to land clients. And once you land your first client, this process is just basically a rinse and repeat afterwards. So it's the same thing. And just doing a bit of improvements here and there. Remember, digital marketing isn't a one process that you just take this template and it just works. It's something that you use like a process like this. You launch something and then you improve. Your improvement is going to give you the competitive edge, and that's always what you are looking for. So hopefully this helped you guys out. I do know there might be some people taking screenshots of it, but like I said before, the ebook or the manual that I've got right now that I'm going to mention next is going to cover all of this. It's got all the detail inside of it. It's got screenshots, it's got the software that you guys need, and everything in there. Okay, so what I want to do next is I want to move straight into the digital marketing agency manual. I know you guys have all been waiting for this whole manual now for quite some time. So bring it up over here quickly. There we go. So we're still talking about the same one. So this digital marketing manual is going to cover everything from how to set up your business model, how to set up your social media channels, all the way right through to your business account, what account you need, all the way right through to your branding. We've got a whole branding kit. We've got email marketing inside. We've actually even included an email marketing short course included into this with a series of videos that you can actually watch that will help you to set up your own email marketing journey for your clients, to help you obviously sign up clients. This whole ebook has been created obviously for you guys to help you get started, help to avoid the pitfalls that we went through in the beginning, all the mistakes that we made from where we lost obviously 80% of our clients all the way right through today when we became successful. And it's obviously been built also to help shorten the whole journey from the learning curve to have to actually be able to learn this all by yourself. So if you're going out right now, you are really fired up, you want to start your own digital marketing agency, but you don't know where to start, this ebook is going to help you out, or this manual basically. It's about 150 pages or so. We're always constantly working on this manual. Once you download it from our website or so, you will get access to all of the updates that we do every 2 to 3 months or so from new videos, new content, new images inside of it. You'll have full access to this whole manual. You can actually download it straight onto like a tablet, a smartphone, your computer. You don't need the internet, obviously, once it's been downloaded. So once you have it on this device, you can actually obviously use it from there. Now, the one thing I need to mention, obviously, the ebook, we sell it on the website for about 1,000 Rand. It's quite a valuable ebook. And yeah, even though I'm still the boss of the company and the CEO of Rust Digital Marketing, I still can't make all the decision when it comes to saying the price drops or what this thing needs to sell by or sell for. So what happened is what I did was we created a special coupon, and this coupon can only be accessed through this webinar. So you're going to see a coupon. It's either going to be on the left or right hand side of the page with a link. It's going to give you a massive discount, and you can only get this discount obviously through this webinar and obviously through the link on the page. If you do get the link later on through an email or something like that, it's going to be the normal price, unfortunately. So yeah, this link is in this email. I recommend you guys please go ahead. If you want to start your own digital marketing agency, like I said before, it's completely changed my life. I really, I enjoy working with clients. I enjoy what I do. I love coming to work every day, and it's really been something for me. But at the end of the day, you need to make a decision whether digital marketing is for you. Is this the type of industry you want to go into? And this is going to give you a baseline of what you need to do to start your agency. So please remember also, guys, if you are an advanced marketer that is watching this, this might not be for you. But if you are looking to start your own agency, you've never started one, or you have started one, but your structure's a bit up and down, you don't really know what you did, where, what, and everything just looks a bit confusing, and you don't know if your structure of your digital marketing agency is correct, this manual will help you out as well. So guys, please go ahead. I'm going to leave the link on the screen right now, and you guys can click on it, check it out, go through the checkout process. Once you secured the actual ebook, please make sure, give me some feedback on the ebook as well. What did you enjoy out of the ebook as well? Are there things that we need to improve and things like that as well? So we're always looking for feedback on this manual. And yeah, guys, please go ahead. I really encourage you guys. I'm going to leave it on the screen right now. The next thing we'll do is quickly move into the Q&A over here. So let's pop into this quick Q&A. So these questions that I've got right now have come from a lot of people. Amy has actually helped me out right now to actually build this last page from a lot of these questions, and some of the questions that have come through from you guys, I'm going to try and answer later on through email or so if I can. If you did ask a question, if you didn't ask a question, hopefully you enjoyed the webinar and you've obviously taken the advice for the manual. But let's quickly go through these questions, and these are questions most people obviously have. So how long could it take to start my own agency? Now, as I did show a little bit earlier on, it did take us about 3 years or so to figure out the right process and what needed to be in place to start this whole agency, all the way until we sort of signed up our first client. Took about 3 months, but it was very up and down or so. So yeah, you can start your agency within, I'll say, about a month or so. You could have everything in place from the business registration all the way to your bank accounts, and you'll be ready to basically launch your agency. Now, the thing is to actually make sure that you sign up a client could take a bit longer. So the process of how your funnel is built, how your nurturing process works, that depends basically on your funnel. But I would say when we look at our business, when I started up, it took me about 3 months or so to get the first clients up and running. I had basically 30 days of startup where I got the business set up. 2 months to sort of get the first client in through the funnel, and then we were basically off. So yeah, hopefully that answers the question. Do I need a website to start? Actually, a great question. Something I should have actually mentioned in the webinar itself. No. I started Ross Digital Marketing with basically a Facebook page. I started a Facebook business page, and I started engaging with leads through this whole process. So what I did was I built a Facebook lead generation campaign. I connected it onto like an email nurturing process, and from there basically I just started working with people, working with potential clients. And we only had a website up and running maybe a month, about basically 3 months later, after we got our first client or so. So 6 months down the line, we had our first website. So yeah, you don't need a website to actually get this business up and running. You can use Facebook. Next, can I get access to the manual right now? Yeah, of course. So the manual, obviously, once you clicked on the link and you've purchased through this discount, you can get access to it immediately. It takes plus minus about 5 minutes or so. We do use PayFast. We also do use PayPal for our international clients and things like that. So yeah, you will get access to it immediately. Once the process is completed within 5 minutes or so, your ebook will be emailed back to you. And also, if you don't get your email or your ebook, please do reach out to our contact team at Ross Digital Marketing. They will check your account to make sure that you do get it. Next, what is the cost of starting a digital marketing agency? Okay, so like any business, you obviously cannot start a business with no money. I've heard people say anything from I've started a business with no money, I became really successful. It's a bunch of rubbish. Registering your business alone costs like 500 Rand. Running a campaign to let people know about you costs a bit of money. Just paying for general things around you in your office costs money. So a business doesn't cost you nothing. You need to have some form of capital somewhere. So I would recommend, the example that I actually can give is think of your cash flow. You obviously do need a bit of a cash flow. Think of your cash flow as like a runway. The more cash flow you have, the longer your runway. The longer your runway is, the more time you have to take off with this business, to give it the best chance to take off. The shorter your cash flow is, the quicker you got to get in the air before you crash and burn at the end of the wall or something like that, or have to turn around and restart again. Each time you restart, you've got to use capital again to obviously gain momentum to be able to take off. So keep in mind, I would say anything between 5,000 Rand per month to 10,000 Rand per month, sort of, if you had a bit of capital like that, it could get you going for the first, say, 3 months till you sign up your first clients. It's also important to remember, your first client is not going to make you wealthy. Your first client, you might start breaking even after a while, but what's going to happen is you've got recurring income, so the income is going to start filling up the back end where all those holes are, where you obviously are leaking out a lot of cash. But yeah, so I would say anywhere between 5,000 to 10,000 Rand. If I were to say, if you had like 30,000 Rand lying around, 10,000 Rand a month will give you a bit of marketing spend as well and gain a bit of traction. Obviously, the more money you have, the quicker you can get started, because obviously the more money you put into Facebook, the more traction you do get. Sorry, I've got like a thing that's popping up on my screen over here. Perfect. So Last question, I think it is. Should I offer added services like Google? Yeah. So when offering added services like Twitter, LinkedIn, Google, email marketing, there's a couple of other different names out there as well, other services you can do from funnel building and so forth. Later stage. Right now, focus on one service. We started Rust Digital Marketing with one service. We started it off with Facebook alone, and we basically ran like that for like 3 years. We only offered Facebook. And there's a lot of people out there or businesses out there that need just social media marketing, and you can become quite successful with just one channel. When you start introducing added channels, you want to make sure that you've got a bit of background behind that channel. You've got a bit of like maybe like a team that could help you out, because the work's going to become overwhelming after a while. If you've got one client that obviously wants 5 different platforms and services from you, from social media management, it's going to become quite a headache just for one person to do that. You are going to find that you're going to be stretching yourself quite thin over this period of time. So right now, to answer your question, focus on one channel. Use Facebook in the beginning. It's the easiest platform to actually get started with. Plus, you're going to be using it for your own business. So the results you get for your own business, you are basically going to just replicate for your clients. So that is my answer over there. Oh, I see there's one more question. So can I offer my service to other countries? Yeah, sure. We do marketing all the way right through from New Zealand to the US, Middle East, Europe as well. But at the beginning, focus local. Focus on just say South Africa. So if you are advertising or you're building an agency in South Africa, do that. If you are from the UK and you're watching this webinar, focus in the UK, just your local market at first. Once you've got enough clients in your local market, start expanding it. You can expand your Facebook pages and everything like that, but just focus on one country at first. You're going to find that just one country alone could actually give you quite a lot of revenue and supply quite a lot of work. So yeah, hopefully I've got everybody's questions over here. It does look like it. I'm actually going to now sort of move on from here. Guys, I just want to thank everybody for watching this webinar. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm hoping to build a couple more down the line. And definitely, I really hope you guys have taken me up on the offer for the manual. It's really valuable, like I mentioned before. You're going to learn everything that I've just spoken about in this webinar. You're going to see all the behind the scenes. You're going to get all the techniques, the screenshots that we've created to actually help you out with your own digital marketing agency and getting it off the ground, or basically just growing your existing marketing agency if you've also just started one. So guys, please, once again, thank you very much for watching this, and I look forward to hearing from everybody that has purchased the manual. I'm going to leave it up for like another 5 minutes or so, but yeah, I'm going to leave it there, play some music in the background. Hopefully you guys take it up, and I'll see you guys a little bit later on.